Good morning, hockey fans. This is Stephen Heisler with HeisHockey.com, the Victoria's Hockey Company, and the Junior Hockey Discussion Group on Facebook. Today we are on the World Sports Broadcasting Network. Almost forgot my lines, Tommy. That is WSBN.TV, Facebook, YouTube, X. Hopefully today you're watching the show from your car. Well, not a good idea to watch it in your car, is it? Maybe you're listening in your car, watching from home or in your office, wherever you are. Hope that you are enjoying this great day in hockey. Today's topic, major junior NCAA eligibility impact on Tier 3. Today, the USPHL Premier Final will take place. The Connecticut Rangers, coached by my buddy Mike Stanaway, will face the Islanders Hockey Club. And Sunday, the Helena Bighorns beat the Northeast Generals to win the NA3HL Championship. Congratulations to the great folks in Helena. Outstanding people up in Montana. The law firm of whoever they called me and complained about my behavior earlier in the season may have something to say about this nice greeting, which leads me directly to today's topic. While all that was going on over the weekend and last week, the National Hockey League held a general managers meeting here in Florida. And one of the bombshells that no one really in the States picked up on came out of that meeting. When the NHL and National Hockey League told the general managers of the imminent changes to the NCAA rules regarding players from the Canadian Hockey League and what that will mean to NHL teams. Now, Canada picked up on it. Across the U.S., saw very little, if anything, about it. But Sportsnet writer has something to say about it, and I'll kind of go through what he said. Let me see here. The NCAA is actively considering removing all restrictions for CHL players to play in the NCAA after their CHL careers are done. Sportsnet Elliot Friedman said on Hockey Night in Canada in the Saturday night headline segment. The change in thinking regarding major junior players stems from the NCAA's name, image, and likeness rules. Let's understand that a little closer. It shouldn't be a shock to anybody. We've been talking about this for the last year, that this is inevitable, and you have to understand why. When a single football player from the University of Colorado or Southern Cal makes pretty much as much money or likely more than the entire every team in the Canadian Hockey League, their combined player stipends for the whole year, one college football player is making more money in NIL deals. So really wasn't fair to block those kids from NCAA competition. I get it. How many was even legal in the first place? And that's likely where the NCAA stands, realizing it, they weren't going to win that fight. It wasn't worth the attorney fees to try to fight it. So inevitably, the level of play at both the NCAA Division 1 and 3 levels will be raised considerably. That will mean far less players from the pay-to-play leagues will get opportunities within NCAA college hockey. Now, we know this. A lot of those kids probably weren't getting very many opportunities at that level of play anyway. Maybe more from the Eastern Hockey League, some from the USPHL and the 3HL were getting on the teams, make no doubt. That was been going on, but there'll be far less of those now. We're looking at probably 400 more players into the pool. Very high-end, highly skilled players will get a lot of those NCAA Division I opportunities. And that's going to push the whole level of play down a spot. So if you're playing in the EHL, the USPHL Premier, the 3HL, probably even the NCDC, and most of the leagues across Canada outside of the BCHL maybe, your opportunities to play Division I hockey are probably going to be reduced or going back to, you're going to end up playing D3 hockey if you're lucky. That's just the way it is. So ultimately, everybody else from the pay-to-play levels are probably going to slide down to ACHA D1. And there's not too many of those schools really out there. Most kids from pay-to-play are going to go D2 and D3 ACHA. Just the way it is. It's going to be club hockey. So this is also going to have a dramatic effect on professional hockey at the lowest levels. So combine the reality of what we just said with the impact and changes we'll have on the lower levels of professional hockey, and it's easy to see why pay-to-play junior operators across the continent will feel the squeeze. Why would you pay to play somewhere where you can probably find a place to play for free? Ultimately, that's what's going to happen. Right now, before this change took place, players from the Canadian Hockey League, they were the primary feeder for the ECHL, which is really AA level of play. The Southern Professional Hockey League and the Federal Prospects Hockey League are really low-level, A-level professional hockey here in the United States. When those prospects for the CHL now will elect to utilize their scholarship money to play for U.S. colleges because it really provides a better opportunity, provides more value than going to play A-level hockey, those kids will go to college instead, which will put more pressure on the A-level to find players. So what are they going to do? We've already hearing about conversations among those owners regarding a transition to the junior level of play, specifically targeting 18 to 20-year-old prospects in place of the older players. Older players coming out of college, now they're going to be 25, 26 years old. They're not going to take an opportunity in the Federal League seriously, or the SPHL seriously, when the cap is probably going to be $250 to $300 a week. It's not going to happen. Not too many of those kids are really around. They'll go out and face the reality of the end of their playing career and go on to their professional lives as doctors, lawyers, politicians, engineers, physical therapists, firemen, police officers, whatever they're going to do. Such a move by the pro leagues would reduce the operator's player cost and eliminate the need for workers' comp insurance. Workers' comp insurance now is roughly $75,000 to $125,000 a year per team. That's what we were told yesterday. So here are some interesting numbers for you to look at. It's important to understand these numbers. In the past, that transition from pro to junior meant joining North American Hockey League or the USHL. USHL picked up the Muskegon Lumberjacks from pro hockey. The North American Hockey League has a number of teams and markets that transition from pro to junior. But those prices are now gotten crazy. The North American 3 Hockey League, the pay-to-play league, is now selling new memberships for around $400,000. $400,000. At the same time, a new North American Hockey League team is going for $1.5 million or more. Meanwhile, if you want to buy an SPHL team before the transition, the cost was between $300,000 and $600,000. A Federal Hockey League team, a Federal Prospects Hockey League team, as they're now called, $100,000 to $200,000. See the problem here? Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out the advantages and a transition that junior hockey would give those FPHL and SPHL teams. The lower overall operational cost, combined with the possibility of a more likelihood of expansion, especially at a lower cost, given the NAHL some competition, would make going through that transition to junior hockey very attractive for those operators. So these changes mean what to current pay-to-play hockey leagues and those operators? Right now, their primary prospects, if you want to have success in these leagues, are if you're in the USPHL, going after a lot of European players. If you're in the NA3HL, going after a lot of 20-year-olds. In order to have success and to win a cup, you need probably 10 or more 20-year-olds on your roster. I don't think those kids will be around next year or the year after next when this really becomes a major issue. So in order to be successful at the pay-to-play level, the change has to be where those operators are primarily targeting players that are using the 3HL or pay-to-play as an alternative to the high cost of AAA hockey. That is their only chance for continuing to get kids to pay $10,000 or more a year. Sometimes the pay-to-play prices are at $7,500. Sometimes I can get it as low as $5,000 in some cases, but I think the days of $15,000, $20,000 days are done. Operators that fail to recognize the shift and make operational adjustments to their program will quickly fall by the wayside because there just won't be any more players. Those guys will eventually fall off the planet and out of the level of play. So what does all this mean for today's prospects? What do you do now if you're a 2005 to 2008 player? Let me say this. I say this to all of our victorious clients continuously, and I'll tell you guys today. Buckle down in the classroom because the odds of you getting a Division I scholarship just went down by a lot. So you better be able to do something academically at the D3 level. We got a kid today, just graduated from high school. He probably got offered close to $1 million in financial aid in the last 3 weeks because he was such a fantastic student. $25,000 a year off tuition. Multiple offers from multiple schools. Yes, he's a hockey player. But for that much money, to get that much money taken off tuition, he's going to have to pay to go to school later on. You might as well jump the gun and get the money now. And that's probably what that kid's going to do, which would be a smart move. Success in the classroom is equally or even more important as what happens on the ice. Pay-to-play junior hockey can continue to be an affordable route to Tier 2. If you're going in at your first year and you're in a 3HL team or a USPHL or an EHL team, great. But please understand that's got to be a run on the ladder of development and not your last place you want to play. If it is, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. Get out of there and go to school. That's it for today. That will be popular with a lot of operators. I understand that. I'm never going to BS you. I'm never going to tell you something because it's better for me financially or it's better for a league financially. I'm always going to tell you the truth, no matter what. My opinion is just that. But go back in history and go over my opinions and let me know when so many people other than myself are now telling you the same thing. The Canadian Hockey League will be NCAA Division I and III eligible very quickly. If it doesn't happen for next season, it'll happen for the season after. Don't be surprised if we hear that announcement this summer. That's it for today. Hope that you enjoy your morning coffee and have a great day in hockey.